Good afternoon, students. See, from today we are going to discuss some important probable topics in the current affairs for upcoming prelims 2025. See, these are mainly gathered from the newspapers and PIB websites basically because they are the main sources for current affairs in UPSC. So let us start today some current affairs which are probable. They may come in 2025. So first thing is National Board for Wildlife. Why today this is in news? Because Prime Minister recently reviewed, as he is a chairperson of National Board of Wildlife, he reviewed certain conservation efforts regarding certain species in India. So there may be a question from this concept, National Board for Wildlife, because previously we have seen many statutory bodies are asked in UPSC. So if you see National Board for Wildlife, it is a statutory body. It is a statutory body. See, a statutory body is something that was established by the law. So this body is established by Wildlife Act 1972. So the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, under which National Board for Wildlife was established. So it is a statutory body and it was established in the year 2003. So this is one of the very important point. It is a statutory body. And second thing is, it was chaired by the Prime Minister of India. So Prime Minister of India is the chairperson of National Board of Wildlife. And vice chairperson is Minister of Environment and Forest. So this is very important. It is one of the highest policy making body related to wildlife. And let us see its functions. Some functions we will see. See, it has certain advisory functions. See what it does. See, it has the power to advise to the central government, even to the state governments, regarding what are the conservation efforts they should do. So recommends amendments to the Wildlife Protection Act, ensures India meets international commitments. That means it has an advisory body. It advises the central government, state government regarding their conservation efforts. And suppose there may be a issue regarding a state government. Suppose Great Indian Bustard చూద్దాం. సో రాజస్థాన్లో నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ డెత్స్ అయినాయి అని ఒక కంప్లైంట్ అనేది బోర్డుకి వెళ్ళింది అనుకోండి. ఇట్ కెన్ గివ్ సర్టెన్ డైరెక్షన్స్ అండ్ అడ్వైజరీస్ టు ద కన్సర్న్ స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ సో దట్ వాట్ ఇట్ కెన్ డూ రిగార్డింగ్ దిస్. సెకండ్ థింగ్, with respect to conservation reserves, that may be a sanctuary or a biodiversity park, anything, if you want to decrease the area of the conservation reserve, we need approval of this one. Suppose take an example of Nagarjuna Sagar Conservation Reserve, Nagarjuna Sagar Biodiversity Park. So once it is demarcated, suppose for irrigation project I want to divert some part of that sanctuary. Definitely we need approval of this board. Without the approval of this board, that can't be done. So it is having such an authority. And approves or rejects the projects, that is highway, railways, dams, within the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. That's what I said. Any infrastructure projects needs its approval when it want to divert some national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. Develop guidelines for buffer zones, eco-sensitive zones and wildlife corridors. Helps in formulating management plans for national parks. And finally, it also recommends certain provisions regarding prevention of wildlife crimes. So it is a very broad architecture. It has advisory roles, it has recommendatory roles, and it also has the power to approve or disapprove infrastructure projects within the wildlife conservation zones. That may be national park or wildlife sanctuaries. So this is one of the most important topic in the news, and I specially say to the students to take this point into very seriously. And we will see some species today in the news, that is Asiatic lion. See, according to IUCN, it is endangered species. It is an endangered species. So we have various categories: critically endangered, vulnerable. This is an endangered. See, there are lions spread across Africa and Asia But the unique thing about these Asiatic lions are they are solitary animals. See, that means they don't live in groups. See, African lions lives in groups. African lions don't live in groups. African lions live in groups. But Asiatic lions are more solitary and live in small groups than African lions. Maybe a mother and her children in that way. See, the questions comes like this. In one of the prelims, I think 2016 or 17, they asked about a camel. Okay, whether it is salt resistant or not. So we can ask a UPSC question like this. An Asiatic lion may give ABC, a critically endangered species or endangered species. Or you may give like this, it is a solitary animal. Or Asiatic lions in large groups. Okay, so see, initially they spread across Middle East. Initially, not now, from the Middle East, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India. However, now at present they are only present in India, that too restricted to Gir National Park, Gujarat. So, at present they are only present in Gir National Park, Gujarat. Okay. Generally, their habitat, that means the area they live, it is a open grasslands. See, cheetahs, tigers or lions live in grasslands because they need a large area to run, to predate their prey. They won't live in high dense forests. Okay, all these cheetahs, zebras, Asiatic lions, all these live in dry deciduous forests and scrublands or grasslands. Okay, next thing I want to say, there is a plan to locate some Gir lions to Kuno, Palpur, Madhya Pradesh, a national park. There are plans, but it was halted because you need to go for a lot of ecological studies. Because ఒక యానిమల్ ఒక చోట నుంచి ఇంకోటి జస్ట్ మూవ్ చేయడం అంత ఈజీ కాదు. ఇట్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ సఫిషియంట్ ప్రే, ఇట్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ సఫిషియంట్ ఏరియా టు మూవ్, and it should be free from viruses because these Asiatic lions, I think before 2 years, died because of a virus. Number of Asiatic lions. So all these things to be taken into consideration. So at present, there are plans to relocate to them to Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary of Madhya Pradesh. But at present, it is halted because more studies need to be done. So this is about Asiatic lion. It is an endangered species, lives in Gir National Park, and it is a grassland. That's it. Next, one of the species in use is Great Indian Bustard. See, it is a critically endangered species. Critically endangered species. And it is a state animal of state bird of Rajasthan. So it's a critically endangered species. That means very, very vulnerable. If we miss to conserve it, it's going to be extinct. Initially, it used to found across Pakistan, India, and India also it spread across a number of states. However, due to certain reasons like habitat destruction, see, it lives in grasslands. See, it also lives in grasslands. Okay, because of increase of for agriculture or increase in salinity or maybe expansion of cities, lot of grasslands were destroyed. The habitat got destroyed. Second thing can be poaching. See, when critically endangered species, they have very high value in the international markets. కొంతమందికి ఒక అలవాటు ఉంటుంది, వెరీ క్రిటికల్ ఎండేంజర్డ్ స్పీసీస్ కలెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. దే స్పెండ్ హ్యూజ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ మనీ టు కలెక్ట్ దెమ్. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది పోచ్ అండ్ దే సెల్ ఎట్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ మార్కెట్స్. అండ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇష్యూ హియర్ ఈజ్ పవర్ లైన్స్. సి, ఇది రాజస్థాన్ డెజర్ట్లో తిరుగుతుంటుంది, యాక్చువల్లీ గుజరాత్లో కూడా. అయితే ఏమవుతుందంటే డెజర్ట్ గుండా పవర్ లైన్స్ పోతుంటాయి. దెర్ ఇస్ అ హై వోల్టేజ్ పవర్ లైన్స్. వెన్ దీస్ బర్డ్స్ ఆర్ ఫ్లయింగ్, these power lines obstruct them and lot of birds got killed because of these power lines. In 2022, there is a case in Supreme Court. సో ఇలా పవర్ లైన్స్ వల్ల ఇవి చనిపోతున్నాయని కేసు వచ్చింది సుప్రీంకోర్టులో. ద హానరబుల్ సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ డైరెక్టెడ్ ద గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఈదర్ యూ రిమూవ్ ద పవర్ లైన్స్ ఆర్ గో ఫర్ అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ కేబుల్స్ బికాస్ దే సెడ్ వీ కాంట్ టేక్ ఫర్దర్ ఛాన్స్ రిగార్డింగ్ దీస్ ఇండియన్ బస్టర్స్. దట్స్ వై ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇన్ ద న్యూస్ అండ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. And spread across, initially it used to spread across Pakistan and India. Now it is mainly restricted to Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, even in Andhra Pradesh. See, in Andhra Pradesh, we rarely see, but in Andhra Pradesh also they are observed. So Andhra Pradesh is also one of the place for Great Indian Bustard. But Rajasthan holds nearly 70% of Great Indian Bustard population. See, there is a news. Power line collision responsible for 15% of the deaths annually. Okay. So next, Makana. See why Makana is news. Recently in the Indian budget, the government of India took a decision to establish national board for Makana in Bihar. Why in Bihar? Bihar produces 80% of Indian Makana. Bihar produces 80% of Indian Makana seeds. See, Makana is nothing but a seeds of lotus flower. See, generally when lotus will grow in still ponds, and the cheruvullo ala grow aitayi kada. So they will collect these seeds and they will dry and they process and they pack and they will sell. Why these Makana seeds are very important? Because they are very good at fiber, calcium, minerals like zinc, etc. So we can say they are very healthy food. They help in reducing the bad cholesterol, reducing obesity. They also help in weight loss. So Makana, when you see these qualities of Makana, as an IAS officer, you can think of something. These can be exported to European countries. So European countries has great demand for these millets and the healthy seeds. So you can export to other countries, you can get dollars into India. At the same time, we can promote eating of these Makana seeds in our Indian population. Yes, India is becoming the diabetic capital of the world. So we need to promote these type of seeds. See, India is the largest producer. 90% of global production takes place from within the India. And generally these grow in a warm, humid conditions. That is very important. The questions comes like this. So the Makana seeds, which of the following is true regarding the Makana seeds? A, they may give, they grow in, they require 200 centimeters of rainfall and grows in tropical areas. That is very much wrong. They grow in humid areas where rainfall is less than 100 mm. 100 mm కంటే తక్కువ ఉన్న rainfall ఉన్నా కూడా అది గ్రో అవుతాయి. ఓకే, దే రిక్వైర్ స్టాగ్నెంట్ వాటర్ బాడీస్ లైక్ పాండ్స్ అండ్ లేక్స్. మనకు తెలుసు కదా, మనం చూస్తూ ఉంటాం కదా. సో బీహార్, మధ్యప్రదేశ్, అస్సాం అండ్ ఉత్తరప్రదేశ్ ఈజ్ లీడింగ్ ప్రొడ్యూసర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ Makana seeds. Makana seeds. The most important thing is the minerals what it contains, the states which produce them, and finally the condition of growing on these Makanas. The question may form on any these three things. Okay. Next, delimitation. So it is very much news. Delimitation. See, delimitation is nothing but redrawing the boundaries of the states according to the increase or decrease in the population. The main concept behind delimitation is one person, one vote, one value. So the value of the vote of a person living in Uttar Pradesh should be equal to the value of vote of person living in Kerala also. That means according to population, number of seats needs to be adjusted. So Article 82 of the Indian Constitution, important, gave the power to establish the Delimitation Commission to the Parliament of India. Parliament make a law generally after every census to establish the Delimitation Commission. And Delimitation Commission consists of 3 people generally. Very important. A retired Supreme Court judge as the chairman. I think there is a PPT there. Yeah, chairperson is retired Supreme Court judge. And other members can be Chief Election Commissioner or is nominated Election Commission. Aithe Chief Election Commissioner undochu, lepothe he can nominate other Election Commission because we have Chief Election Commissioner and 2 Election Commissioner kabatti. And State Election Commissioner of particular state. Means the Delimitation Commission consists of a retired Supreme Court judge as the chairperson, Election Commissioner of India or any of his nominee like other Election Commissioner, and particular state where delimitation taking place. That means in Andhra Pradesh delimitation taking place, the 3rd member will be State Election Commissioner of Andhra Pradesh. Clear? So initially we have a number of delimitation commissions. 1952 the first delimitation commission happened. Okay, then 1963 second delimitation commission, 72. After 72, through 42nd Amendment Act, the act is 42nd Amendment. 42nd Amendment Act, what it want to do, it want to reduce the growth rate of population. So in order to incentivize, see, population tagginchali, let's growth rate tagginchali anukundi. Growth rate endu tagginchali? See, there is an issue. If growth rate was reduced, then number of seats going to be reduced in the parliament. States won't come forward. So what happened? There is an amendment was done so that the number of seats in India will be frozen till 2002, irrespective of population change. The population change అయినా ఎటువంటి సీట్లో మార్పులు రావని 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act తీసుకొచ్చారు. Okay, one more delimitation commission was established in 2002. Here also delimitation done, but without increasing the seats. అంటే ఏంటంటే స్టేట్స్లో ఎన్ని సీట్లు ఉన్నాయి అనే సీట్లు ఉన్నాయి, బట్ విత్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్ ద బౌండరీస్ ఆర్ రీడ్రాన్ అకార్డింగ్ టు ద పాపులేషన్. Understand carefully. One thing, these 3 delimitation commissions, okay, it was done across the India and number of seats of every state was changed. ఏంటి ప్రతి స్టేట్లోనూ ఎన్ని సీట్లు ఉండాలో చేంజ్ అయ్యాయి. అయితే 2002లో ఏం చేశారంటే స్టేట్లో సీట్లు చేంజ్ చేయలే. ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ఉమ్మడి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో 42 పార్లమెంట్ సీట్లు ఉన్నాయి బిఫోర్ 2002 ఆల్సో. 2002 తర్వాత కూడా 42 సీట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అయితే బౌండరీస్ విత్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్లో చేంజ్ చేశారు అంతే. సో up till now we have 4 delimitation commissions, not 3. 52, 63, 92, 72. And next delimitation going to take place in 2026. Next delimitation is expected to be taken in 2026, maybe with the population of 2021 census. Okay. So here the important is article, the composition of delimitation commission and the number of delimitation commissions and 42nd Amendment Act. The biggest issue is if delimitation happens, the southern states or states which contain the population will drastically get affected by reducing the seats in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha also. This is the fear of southern states or states which implemented population control policy. So next we will see 3 language formula, because this is also a big issue that is taking place now. See why we adopted a 3 language formula. Just a brief introduction. In the Constitution Assembly, there is a debate happen. Some people say Hindi should be only language of communication across the nation. However, generally the leaders from South and East like West Bengal also opposed, and they said we need English to be continued up to certain time so that our people can learn this Hindi in meanwhile. Okay, so in order to boost this Hindi language across the country, a 3-language formula was formed. And Kothari Commission recommended the 3-language formula in 1964-66. Year is not important, but Kothari Committee recommended. And this was introduced in the National Educational Policy in 1968. These two are very important for prelims. So, Kothari Committee is the committee on education, how to education should go within the country. And first education policy in 1968 adopted it. What 3-language formula says is, one language should be regional language. One language can be English. One language can be depending upon the state. That means in South they recommended, suppose it is Andhra, this can be Telugu, this can be English, this should be Hindi. Suppose it is a northern state, assume it is in Uttar Pradesh. Already you adopted Hindi as regional language. Okay, it is Uttar Pradesh, assume. English is other language. It says any of the Indian language. They may adopt Telugu also. That's not an issue. Or they can adopt Bhojpuri. They can adopt Awadhi. Okay. So many of the states adopted 3-language formula. Exceptions are there. Suppose Tamil Nadu rejected the 3-language formula. They learned Tamil and English only. They not adopted any third language, nor Hindi, nor any other language. But new education policy 2020, this is very important. It said 3-language formula should be continued. 3-language formula should be continued. One should be regional language, one should be English, one should be any language of the choice. This is a departure. Here they said southern states or states where Hindi is not spoken, you should adopt Hindi as third language. But new education policy became very flexible. It said no need Hindi. You can adopt any language. Any language. You can adopt, a Telugu person can adopt third language Tamil or Hindi or Bhojpuri or Rajasthani. There is no issue. So, okay, before this, let me end up with one thing. See, then what is the issue with Tamil Nadu? అవసరం లేదంటున్నారు కదా. తమిళనాడు వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారు, హిందీ ఇంపోజ్ చేస్తున్నారు అంటున్నారు. న్యూ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పాలసీలో అసలు హిందీ గురించే లేదు. యూ కెన్ అడాప్ట్ తెలుగు. తమిళనాడు పీపుల్ కెన్ అడాప్ట్ తెలుగు యాజ్ థర్డ్ లాంగ్వేజ్. వై దే ఆర్ రిజెక్టింగ్ ఇట్? థింక్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. Why they are rejecting it? See, to be frank, why they reject it? See, in Tamil Nadu, there are CBSE schools. Okay, in CBSE schools, when they given an option to adopt for third language, most of the people took Hindi as a third language. అంటే సిబిఎస్ఈలో థర్డ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ కింద తీసుకోమని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ చాయిసెస్ ఉన్నాయి. పంజాబీ తీసుకోవచ్చు, హిందీ తీసుకోవచ్చు, తెలుగు తీసుకోవచ్చు, అన్నీ తీసుకోవచ్చు. కానీ తమిళ్ పీపుల్ కూడా సిబిఎస్ఈ స్కూల్లో చదువుతున్న వాళ్ళు హిందీయే తీసుకున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళ భయం ఏంటంటే, ఒకవేళ థర్డ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ కనుక అడాప్ట్ చేస్తే ఈవెన్ ఇన్ స్టేట్ స్కూల్స్ తమిళ్ పీపుల్ అడాప్ట్ హిందీ. వై? హిందీ తెలిస్తే నేషనల్ లెవెల్లో యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ దట్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. సో అదొక భయం. ఓకే, రెండోది ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ హ్యావ్ దేర్ ఓన్ పొలిటికల్ ఇంప్లికేషన్స్. ఓకే, వీ డోంట్ గో ఫర్ ఇట్. Next, see some provisions, constitutional provisions of language. See, mainly part 17th of Indian Constitution spoke something about languages. It said official language of Union is Hindi in Devanagari script is official language. And it said English as official language should continue up to 15 years. That is 1965 వరకు ఇంగ్లీష్ని అఫీషియల్ లాంగ్వేజ్గా కంటిన్యూ చేసి తర్వాత హిందీకి షిఫ్ట్ అయిపోయింది కంప్లీట్గా. అయితే అప్పుడు దేర్ ఆర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ హెజిటేషన్స్ హ్యాపెన్. పీపుల్ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు రిమూవ్, ఎస్పెషలీ సౌత్ పీపుల్ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు రిమూవ్ దట్ ఇంగ్లీష్. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద హెజిటేషన్, the act came called Official Language Act 1963, very important. This act said that Hindi will be the national language and English will also continue as the language indefinitely. That means there won't be any deadline to stop English as official language. So this is very important act. Okay, and there is an article called Article 344 provides for Language Commission to promote Hindi and review language policy. ఏమైందంటే ఇనీషియల్గా మనం ఇంగ్లీష్ అండ్ హిందీని కూడా అడాప్ట్ చేసాం. 1965లో ఇంగ్లీష్ మానేయాలి అకార్డింగ్ టు ఒరిజినల్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్. అయితే అప్పుడు ఏం చేసామంటే ఆర్టికల్ 344 ప్రకారం ఒక లాంగ్వేజ్ కమిషన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసాం. ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేస్తే ఆ లాంగ్వేజ్ కమిషన్లో సౌత్ పీపుల్ ఉన్నారు, సౌత్ ఎంపీస్ ఉన్నారు, నార్త్ ఎంపీస్ ఉన్నారు. అయితే ద లాంగ్వేజ్ కమిషన్ రికమెండెడ్ టు ఎలిమినేట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ బికాస్ నార్త్ పీపుల్ యాజ్ మెజారిటీ. అప్పుడు ఎజిటేషన్ స్టార్ట్ అయినాయి సదరన్ స్టేట్స్లో కానీ కొంతవరకు బెంగాల్లో కానీ. ఆ ఎజిటేషన్స్ని తట్టుకోలేక అఫీషియల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ యాక్ట్ 1963 తీసుకొచ్చి ఇంగ్లీష్ని ఇండిఫినిట్గా కంటిన్యూ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈస్ ద స్టోరీ. ఓకే, సి I want to go for a Ukraine mapping actually. See, Ukraine is very much in the news, you all know it. So we can go for a mapping of Ukraine. So I sincerely say, as time not permitting me today, we will end here and we will take Ukraine mapping and mapping of Black Sea tomorrow. Okay, thank you for today. Thank you.